Meanwhile, the median time to get approval to build a house there is 627 days. That's 217 days longer than it took to build the empire.
I have a quick question. In a state that constantly claims a housing crisis, why does it take 627 days just to get approval to build a home? At that point, building is already impractical. Weather isn't the culprit, this is purely red tape. To put it in perspective, the Empire State Building, one of the most iconic structures ever built, took only 410 days in the 1930s, without modern tech, software, or coffee shops on every corner. Bill Maher has finally spoken up for this reason. Millions of Californians have been raising alarms for years, and now he's saying it out loud. And he isn't some far-right provocateur, he's been a steady liberal voice for decades. When he says this has gone too far, it stings.
Regulations that aren't necessary, you really don't believe that the state we live in, California, is lacking regulation. There's over 300,000 regulations.
Well, maybe they're needed.
They're not. When I tried to put in a garage door, I had to have 3 inspections. There should have been none. I should be allowed to change my garage door.
Are you kidding? Really? It was about a garage door?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Not yet.
His first example is almost comically simple. A garage door. That's it. A garage door needing replacement. What did he face? 3 assessments. 3. Just paperwork, delays and costs, no safety breakthroughs, no environmental triumphs. Californians know this is typical. The state is both heavily regulated and opaque. With over 300,000 restrictions, stagnation has replaced effective governance. Housing projects stall for years. Funds, announcements, and reimbursements vanish quietly, while ideas like high-speed rail remain fantasies. Meanwhile, the real problems, fires, homelessness, and gridlock, don't wait.
California is the place that spends money and gets nothing, which is why you may have noticed when the fires broke out, no one escaped by high-speed rail. We have the highest marginal tax rate in America, higher than almost all other states, and soon Greenland.
California has perfected the art of spending massive sums without delivering results. Maher says it plainly. The state runs services like a dysfunctional DMV, but taxes like Scandinavia, highest marginal rates in the nation, edging toward Greenland levels. And what do residents get in return? A tent with plumbing passes as a starter home amid skyrocketing housing costs, crumbling roads, and rolling blackouts. Maher's point goes deeper than policy failures. When a state becomes a one-party system, this is the outcome. There's no rivalry, no urgency, no real accountability. Here, it's not Democrats versus Republicans, it's responsibility versus complacency. Look at swing states like Arizona, Georgia, or Pennsylvania. Lawmakers know missteps can cost them their careers. In California, political survival is nearly guaranteed. Leaders, stop competing for voters and start serving bureaucrats, activists, and donors. Competition drives action, monopolies breed laziness. Today, California politics is the ultimate monopoly.
You know this about California.
No, I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics are. That's not where mine are. I'm sorry.
Home prices keep climbing while nothing changes. Committees bicker, infrastructure decays, and outdated regulations remain untouched. The disconnect becomes obvious when Maher is challenged. California isn't really regulated, overtaxed, or radical. Enter Jane Fonda. Her wealth shields her from energy hikes, housing costs, and permits. Regulation is abstract morality for the wealthy. For everyone else, it's rent, bills, and the struggle to work or start a business.
I don't like them that much. They just think the far left has gone so nutty on so many issues.
That's what they're being told.
That's what
by people like you.
Because it's...
Maher shines here, breaking down the forces behind Rise. It wasn't about flawless leadership or beloved tweets. It was about giving voice to frustration. Ordinary Americans were drowning in costs imposed by people who never faced consequences, while elites lectured from gated communities. That anger was inevitable. One permit at a time, bureaucracy silently piled up. The absurdity grows when Maher turns to water. California has faced a nearly constant drought for 2 decades. Everyone knows it. Towels are reused, lawns left to die, showers shortened. Yet almond farming has doubled. The numbers are staggering. Oranges, tomatoes, and strawberries need roughly 11 liters per pound.
We have spent the last 2 decades in perpetual drought here, yet almond farmers in California have doubled in that time, despite the fact that almond production alone uses more water than all the humans and businesses in San Francisco and Los Angeles combined, even on days when your teenage son spends 2 hours showering. How much water it takes to grow different crops, oranges, tomatoes, strawberries, all take about 11 gallons to make 1 pound. Almonds, 1,900 gallons. That wasn't a problem back when it rained, but now there simply isn't enough water to go around, and we have to make a painful choice, getting it to the people or getting it in the...
But almonds? 9,900 liters per pound. Who's paying for this? All of us. Agriculture uses over 80% of the state's water, yet contributes less than 2% of California's GDP. These aren't small farms, they're corporate giants benefiting from cheap water priced as if it were 1890. Maher's argument is simple. Water is limited, it should cost accordingly. Instead, rural wells run dry, cities ration showers, and taxpayers fund waste. This isn't environmentalism, it's incompetence. And who profits? The usual suspects, lobbyist-driven corporations, sprawling bureaucracy, and regulators who justify their existence by creating new problems.
California agriculture accounts for 80% of our water use, even though California agriculture is less than 2% of our economy. We actually have enough water. We just give way too much of it to farmers who get their water subsidized by the government because we still act like it's 1890 and farmers are small and independent when they're really mostly part of big ag. And corporations get what they wanted.
This brings us to one of the conversation's harshest truths. California's bureaucracy seems designed not to prevent problems, but to make sure nothing moves without friction, and then charge you for it. Permit officers, inspectors, zoning boards, review panels, commissioners, consultants, every level of government shares the same unspoken goal: slow progress, inflate costs, and create delays. How am I going to get in your way? Might as well be their official greeting. Productivity is not facilitated, it's treated with suspicion, and advancement is discouraged.
Vast network of regulators, administrators, inspectors, contract reviewers, project managers, fee assessors, special commissioners, zoning officers, and consultants whose jobs seem to be to make sure nothing ever happens and then charge you for it. The people who answer the phone, "Permit office, how may I hinder you?"
Meanwhile, in states like Texas, Florida, or Tennessee, where efficiency isn't penalized, tech workers, families, retirees, and young professionals are packing up and leaving. Maher calls it economic self-sabotage. People exit rather than fight a system that punishes success. Approval ratings reflect the reality. Misaligned priorities, not impossible challenges, are what sink leaders. Rahm Emanuel interrupts with a stark reminder: big city mayors fail not because problems are unsolvable, but because they focus on the wrong things.
I read that the current mayor of Chicago has an approval rating of 6.6%.
Round it up, 7.
I mean, you were just an ambassador to Japan. If that was your approval rating in Japan, they would do harakiri on live TV.
They would do it at 27.
I mean, what's going on in Chicago?
Look, I mean, we were talking about this a little earlier. I mean, you have also the mayor of New York not doing well. Obviously, other things also here in Los Angeles not doing well, the mayor here. Look, and then you got mayors, like the mayor in San Francisco and other cities that are doing well. So I would say, look, there is a general rule. I had this when I was mayor. Safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. Focus on those 3 things and your city's going to...
Real work means secure streets, strong schools, and stable finances, not endless cultural battles, symbolic gestures, or debates over language while crime rises and stores lock up deodorant behind glass. Something is deeply wrong when CVS and Walgreens resemble armored vaults. Schools are even worse. 8th grade reading scores are the lowest in 30 years. And what are leaders focused on? Lockers, restrooms, and pronouns. Emmanuel is frustrated, and rightly so. Kids go to school to learn, not to be political experiments. Education suffers when classrooms become battlegrounds, and results falter when leaders prioritize appearances over substance. Virtue signaling won't fix this.
5 years when people became way too permissive of the culture, they were all, which is why everything's locked up at Walgreens and CVS, and that is a disaster. And our school, and I'll say this about our schools. I don't want to hear another word about the locker room. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom. You better start focusing on the classroom. We have the worst reading scores for 8th graders in 30 years. And nobody, not a governor, not a mayor, not a president, not a secretary of education is talking about it. We're all wrapped up. Look, in 7th grade, if I know that I could have said the word they got in the girls' bathroom, I would have done it.
The picture is clear. California's failure isn't due to a lack of care or intention. It's driven by entrenched interests, bloated bureaucracy, minimal competition, leaders unwilling to challenge flawed ideas, and a persistent lack of restraint. Bill Maher isn't demanding radical overhauls. He's advocating for simple, common-sense governance, practical policies that actually work, speeding up housing construction, fair and transparent water pricing, and a focus on safety, education, and infrastructure that meets real needs. Regulation has become performative rather than effective, a show for appearances instead of solving problems. California once attracted opportunity and talent. Today, it drives people and businesses away. Skilled workers, young families, and innovative companies leave for states with fewer obstacles, lower costs, and clearer rules. When the very people who should be building the state's future feel blocked at every turn, the cost isn't just economic. It's social, cultural, and generational. This trend should worry everyone, regardless of politics, because a state that can't govern itself effectively threatens the well-being of millions and sets a cautionary example for the nation.